Hey guys, just go over the math. I just want to go over the math with you real quick. Not going to be too difficult until you get to division. I think division's where you're going to run into your issues because every year it seems like the kids have trouble with compatible numbers. Before that, though, the first things we're working on is first page is addition and subtraction. They want you. It says that they want you to estimate to the nearest whole number. What's important about that is what's important about estimating that you guys get confused sometimes. Estimating and rounding are two different things. You need to round in order to estimate. So I don't want you to solve the problem just by adding them as is and then estimate and then rounding the answer. That's not what I want. What estimation is you're going to round both of these to make your life a lot easier. Instead of adding up all the decimals, you're just going to end up with two whole numbers, okay? And that's what you're looking for. Remember, decimals are less than 1, so we don't really need them as much. We want to make things easier. That's why we're estimating them. So, for example, if this says estimate to the nearest whole number, the nearest whole number is the ones column, okay? That's the column that we're estimating to or rounding to. So I'm going to take each one. So we should know how to round. That's not what this lesson is about. You guys know how to round. So what I want you to do is, my number is 3 62/100ths, and I want to round that to the nearest ones column, right? So that basically the 6 is going to tell the 3. And we should know that any number 5 or higher will tell the digit to go up by 1. If it is 4 or lower, it tells the digit to stay the same, okay? And all the digits to the right become zeros, and any digit to the left, unless you have to regroup, stays the same. So in this instance right here, I have 3 62/100ths. They want me to round it to the nearest whole number. So 6 tells the 3 to go up by 1, becomes a 4, and everything else turns to 0. Now, because it's a decimal, I don't need it. I'm just going to say it's 4. Do you see that? Now, if you did this, that's fine. If you said 6 tells the 3 to go up, the other numbers turn to 0, that is also correct. It's just not needed, okay? I'm trying to get that sun. Either way I look, the sun is in my face. Okay, so the next number is 6 12/100ths, right there, 6 12/100ths. All right, this is going to work on the first page for your math today. 6 12/100ths. Okay, the 1 tells the 6 to do what? To stay the same. It doesn't go down. The overall number goes down, but the digit that we're rounding to stays the same. And let me tell you what I mean by that. The 1 tells the 6 to go down, so it stays at 6, right? Excuse me, tells it to stay the same, so it stays at 6. Everything else to the right turns to a 0, or you could just leave it blank. So the reason why they say it goes down is because the overall number went down. It was 6 12/100ths. Now it's just 6. You see how the number did go down in general, but the digit stayed the same. And let's not get confused with that. So then I'm left with a much easier addition question of 4 plus 6, and my answer for that should simply be 10. Now, for today's work, I made a Google slide for you that you're able to type your answers in there. Now, I don't want you can't do your work on a computer, obviously, because you can't do the scrap work. You should work with a piece of loose leaf or your math workbook. Any page that says 9.5. I don't know the exact pages. Maybe I can find out for you. Let me see. Can I find out for you exactly? Okay. I know Donnie was looking for it this morning. It's 39, 40, 41, and 42, I believe. Yeah. 39 to 42 if you want to work in your workbook. But guys, here's the issue. Some of your handwriting is so sloppy I can't read it. And you have your scrap work all over the place. It's hard for me to decipher what the answers are. So the easiest way to do it would be have the worksheet on your computer screen, do your scrap paper, do your work, and then record your answer. I think that's the best way to do it because your handwriting, guys, unless we have drastic improvement, it's very difficult for me to grade, and it takes me a long time to grade it because I'm trying to enlarge it, trying to see it. Some of you, I get it. Listen, I'm not the neatest guy. We know that. So I'm not judging. It would make it easier if you could just type it in those red boxes that are provided for you there. Okay, so that's example number one. Then you're going to go to subtraction questions. Okay, same exact mindset. This time I went to two-digit numbers. I went to the tens column. I do not want you to round to the tens column now. It says nearest whole number. The nearest whole number is the ones column. So I'm dealing with here 26 and 36 hundredths. Same policy, except now look, I'm going to round to the ones column. What does the 3 tell the 6 to do? It tells it to stay the same. So this is important. The number to the left, the 20 that's in the tens column, that stays. I don't round 26 and 36 hundredths to 6. I round it to 26. So that number to the left stays the same. And what happens to the numbers to the right? They turn to zeros, which means if they're decimal zero, I don't need them. But I know you guys like to put them, and that's fine. So that's what I end up with right there. All good with that one? Okay, now these are not examples that you're going to find in your notebook. These are made up ones. I want you to do the questions by yourself. So you shouldn't be looking for these in your workbook. They're not there. Or on my worksheet, they're not there. These are ones I just added that I want to give you an example, and I want you to try the ones. The textbook, the book also in the worksheet has examples for you also. But I wanted to be the one talking to you. The next one is 11 and 72 hundredths. What does the 7 tell the 1 to do? Tells it to go up by 1, right? So it becomes a 2. But again, 11 and 72 hundredths doesn't round to 2. It rounds to 12, to the nearest whole number, right? Everything else turns to 0. And I'm left with a very simple subtraction equation of 26 minus 12. And that answer should be 14. Now, if that was my answer, I would go to my computer, I did my work, and I would type in for that question number 14. Remember, this is not a question that you're going to find. But when you do your worksheet, do all your scrap paper, and then apply it and put it into your red. Now it gets into a little bit more challenging. The multiplication and division. They want you to estimate to the nearest whole number, okay? When you have one digit, you don't estimate. It's already done. You don't estimate this to 10. One digit you leave alone. Is that understood? You leave it alone. So the 7 is going to remain 7 because you know the 7's multiplication. We're just trying to make multiplication easy for you here. So you have 3 and 42 hundredths times 7. Now they want you to estimate that. So you want to make life easier. We just want to do single digit by single digit if we can, or one digit by one digit, whatever it is. So because we can do that math very simply and in our heads. And that's what estimation is for. We want to make life easier for you. Okay, so you have 3 and 42 hundredths. Rounded to the nearest whole number, which means the ones column. The 4 tells the 3 to do what? Stay the same. Everything else turns to 0. So basically I'm left with that. You do the double zero. If it's decimal 0, 0, I don't have those zeros there. I just do this. And then you should know 3 times 7 is 21. Okay, that's how you do the multiplication with those. Now, division is where things get crazy, and it gets a little bit hard because we're dealing with compatible numbers. Because when you're dealing with a division equation, an estimation, the whole point is you don't want to have to do long division. So if you just round numbers, you're still going to end up having to do long division. It doesn't matter. So you have to find numbers that are compatible. That means they go together. Okay? That means you have to find common factors that they work together with. For example, if I have a number, if I'm dividing something by 7, I want to find a number that it's closest to, whether it be 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, so on and so forth. You want to find something that easily goes into it, where you know it's a fact and you can make it work. So look at this example I have here. I have 47 and 300ths divided by 9. Okay, 9 is the key number here. So watch what I do. I take my 9, right? My 9, which is the divisor here, and I'm going to skip count by 9. 9, you want to do it with me, you can. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45. You know the next one? 54. Okay, now, I stopped at 54. The reason why I stopped at 54 is because the number they gave me was 47. If I keep going, I'm already past the estimate. I'm already higher than it. I'm at 47 and they want me to get to. I'm at 54. If I keep going, I'm just going to go further and further and further away from it, right? So I don't want that. I want to get as close to it as I can. So what do I try to do is I try to find that number that they want me to get to, which is 47. And I want to find a number that's one lower than it and one that's higher than it. And I want to find out which one is best, which one is closest to it. So it's like almost like you're a detective. You know you have a number. You have a divisor that you could start with, and you want to try to skip count with that number till you get as close as you can. And the numbers that I find are these two numbers here, 45 and 54. Okay? So here's the key now. Say to yourself, which one is closer to 47? Which one is closer to 47? Is 45 closer? 2 away. Or is 54 closer? 7 away. Hopefully you decided, I'm going to go with 45, Mr. Kavanaugh. So this is what this question turns into. Watch how simple this is. 47 is just going to turn to 45. I'm only worried about those first two numbers. And then I'm going to divide by 9. What's 45 divided by 9? And if you're not sure, just count. 1, 2, 3, 4. It was the fifth number. So the answer is 5. Now, that's not an exact answer. That's an estimate. So 47 and 3/10 divided by 9 is about 5. Now, let me show you what it really is if I did the work out. 47 divided by 3. You tell me if my estimate is reasonable. Okay, let's see. 5. And because I'm estimating to the nearest whole number, I'm going to stop at the tens column because I just need to get to the whole number. So in order to do that, I need the tenths, and that could round it for me. 3, 2, what is it? A 2, 2, correct. 18. I end up with 5 and 2/10. And the 2 would tell the 5 to do what? Stay the same. So my answer of 5 with using compatible numbers is the best way to do it. Now, I don't expect you to get compatible numbers right off the bat, but the key steps to compatible numbers, and I'll list the steps for you, are number 1, find the divisor. The divisor is what the number divided by. That next thing you say, that's the divisor. Find that divisor. Use that divisor and skip count. Okay? You're trying to match the first 2 digits of the dividend. Okay? So if the number is 72 or 75 and you have the number 4, you're going to have to go past 10, right? Because 4 times 10 is 40. You got to get closer to 72. So you have to keep going all the way, 44, 48, 52. Keep going until you get close. And then when your answer is how many times you use the 4 to get to that number. That's your goal. Not easy. It's not easy, guys. I'm telling you now. Let me just double check. And remember, so the issue you're going to have today is simply going to be division. The last today is simply going to be division. Page 3. Page 3 says round to the nearest tenth, right? Round each decimal to the nearest tenth, then estimate. All right, here we go. So I'm not going to do the exact one for you, but I'm going to do one that's like it. Okay, round to the nearest tenth. Take a look. That's what I did there. So to the nearest tenth. Okay, so 4 tells the 6 to do what? Stay the same. So I'm 64 hundredths turns to 6 tenths. And then round to the nearest tenth in the next one. It's a much bigger number. It doesn't matter. Still round to the tenths. The 2 tells the 7 to stay the same. So I end up with 16 and 7 tenths. So I end up with that. And because it's addition, I would simply line my decimals up. I would add. And I would get the answer of 17 and 3/10. And I would do that for all of them. So remember, page 3, they want to round it to the nearest 10. So that's what you want to work on. All right, guys, listen. Hopefully you can make it at 4 o'clock. We could discuss anything you need. Boxes and bullets today. I attached a new one. All you have to do is write your statement and I tell you what a statement is in the directions, and your 3 main reasons why. That's what I'm looking for, why you believe in your statement. You don't have to use all the supporting details. You just have to fill in that document. Okay, it's a big red box. Just type in. If you want to use the space bar to adjust it so it lines up like I did mine, and I did an example on school uniforms. So just look at that example and apply it to yours, and then hand that in to me so I can look at it. No other writing is due today. You don't have to read any other article now, but I do expect you to read Raz Kids. I'm not sure why so many of you haven't done it. Log on through Clever, go to Learning A to Z, and then find the book that's assigned to you, okay? I'm not sure. Some of you might have been linked last year. Somebody said there was a couple other books assigned. I think I've only assigned 1 book per kid, and I want to do it that way, and we'll go from there. They're not crazy books. You've not done Raz Kids before, I'm sure. Read it, answer the questions, and we can move on. All right, you got to make sure you're reading every day. Okay, guys? Chasing Lincoln's Killer was done. It was phenomenal. We'll start a new book on, Wednesday? New book on Wednesday. So I hope you can make the read alouds for that. All right. See you later.